to you, which I also make to Ms. Killian, your advocate. And I say, please confer with Ms. Killian. Ms. Killian, as your legal advisor, will advise you which ones of those matters are relevant and should therefore be raised with the Commission. She will also even advise you whether the best way of doing that is by way of a supplementary statement or by way of you giving testimony here about them. I see no unfairness at all in that.
Thank you very much,
I see no unfairness at all.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
I'll proceed, Chair.
Please.
Paragraph, I have to now go to command and control and failures evidential from the National Commissioner's testimony. In this section of the affidavit, I deal with the overarching tenor of the testimony before the Commission, with particular reference to the evidence of the National Commissioner and to a lesser extent that of General Mkhwanazi. The National Commissioner's testimony contained nuanced inconsistencies which raises legitimate questions regarding the effectiveness of his leadership. By way of example, his version reflects a situation in which two senior officials were permitted to operate under contradictory instructions without clarity or coordination at the level of National Commissioner. Such contradictory direction is indicative of ineffective command and control, creates confusion within the organization, undermines operational efficiency, and exposes the institution to unnecessary risk. Now, I make a note here that says, please refer to the Portfolio Committee's chair statement, but I'll proceed with the statement. What is particularly remarkable is the vagueness of the National Commissioner's testimony regarding the steps he took once he became aware that the docket had been moved to head office when questioned by Commissioner Baloyi on the action he took in response to this development. It was expressly put to him that I reported to him and that he was my superior, yet despite this knowledge, the National Commissioner was unable to articulate any decisive action that he took to address what he now characterized as serious misconduct. Then I also read 235 and 236 and 237. It was further put to him that he knew there was no approved plan authorizing the relocation of the dockets, and when asked General Masemola what he did about this, his response was, and I quote, "At some point I did talk to him, that I hear rumors that dockets are here. Remember the agreement was dockets go to province, which you disprove, that they go to station of origin. So there cannot be dockets that come to this head office. So make sure that you do likewise. There should not be dockets that is here." I'm continuing with the statement, but I wanted to just quickly point out that the Commissioner also says that they said dockets should go to province. He agrees that the docket had to go to province. It is extraordinary that this constituted the response of the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service. General Masemola has repeatedly asserted that my purported instruction to have the dockets brought to head office was highly irregular and improper. Yet, when confronted with precisely the same circumstances he now elevates as a grave irregularity, the extent of his intervention was limited to vague and informal remarks about rumors rather than any decisive or corrective action. Considering the fact that General Senthumule said, I did inform the National Commissioner, so it's not rumors, he was told by General Senthumule. I'm proceeding. Such a response is wholly inconsistent with the seriousness he claims to attach to the matter. His failure to act in the face of what he alleges was a serious procedural impropriety fundamentally undermines the credibility of his allegations against me and reflect a concerning abdication of leadership responsibilities at a critical juncture. This is, in my view, calls into question the sudden outrage directed at my purported conduct and suggests an after-the-fact reconstruction of events rather than a genuine concern. The stance now advanced by the National Commissioner bears no resemblance to his previous conduct and appears instead to have emerged only once there was heightened national scrutiny and criticism following the press briefing delivered by General Mkhwanazi. It is significant that at a time when he claims to have held grave reservations about the handling of the dockets and the disbandment implementation plan, he neither actively intervened to hold the purported irregular conduct nor took any formal steps to reprimand me or take corrective action. His current assertion must therefore be understood within the context in which they arise. They are calculated to create distance between himself and operational decisions made under his oversight and to deflect responsibility at a moment when public attention has intensified. Such conduct creates the distinct impression that the narrative now advanced is shaped less by an accurate recollection of events and more by a desire to protect his own position in response to external criticism. These inconsistencies warrant a cautious approach by the Commission in assessing the credibility of the evidence and his attempt to attribute attempted return of the dockets to KwaZulu-Natal. He testified that I was not supposed to remove the dockets from the province without knowledge of the provincial commissioner. Yet, despite this alleged impropriety, he stated that I should finish what I started and ensure that the dockets were returned in the same way that I had taken them. Just to remind the commissioners that considering the fact that they were brought by General Khumalo and he sent Sergeant Khumalo. They were brought by CI to head office, not by me. It devised logic that the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service would respond in such a manner. Even if one were to assume, for argument's sake, that he was genuinely dissatisfied with the relocation of the dockets to head office, his response upon learning of the failed effort to return them to KwaZulu-Natal and the reasons therefore ought to have been to intervene decisively. One would reasonably expect the National Commissioner, as the ultimate custodian of command and control, to take charge of the situation, to engage directly with General Mkhwanazi, and to issue clear formal directives to ensure that the dockets were returned through proper channels. Instead, his purported instructions suggest abdication of responsibility and a lack of meaningful leadership involvement in an operational matter he now portrays as critical. His reaction in this irreconcilable with the seriousness he attributes to the issue and raises material questions about the reliability of his testimony and the adequacy of his oversight in the circumstances. Importantly, this conduct demonstrates a leader who was not exercising effective control over a matter falling squarely within his responsibility as National Commissioner. It is also noteworthy that the National Commissioner claims that he only became aware in early May that the 121 dockets classified as under investigation by the PKTT had been removed from the PKTT and handed over to General Senthumule, an event he characterized as yet another surprise. It is with respect remarkable that a general of his standing who attended the very meetings at which the operational implementation of the disestablishment plan was discussed, could repeatedly profess surprise at developments arising from decisions in whose formulation and oversight he was directly involved. It is equally difficult to accept this aspect of his version. On his own account, he was working closely with General Khumalo in putting together the phased-out disestablishment plan. It was General Khumalo who, on the 28th of April, handed the case dockets to General Senthumule. Yet the National Commissioner would have the Commission accept that General Khumalo, who was operating in close coordination and proximity with him throughout his process, did not inform him. On the very day that the docket had been handed over, that proposition is quite simply impossible. Now I'm moving to allegations of a potentially corrupt relationship with Brown Mokgotsi. I know Brown Mokgotsi as an activist based in the Northwest province. During or about December 2024, Mokgotsi began contacting me, during which communications he warned me that certain individuals were purportedly attempting to have me removed from SAPS. He further informed me that false information was being circulated about me. I met Mokgotsi for the first time in January 2025 when I was in Cape Town, or about the 8th. Now, here in the statement, it says about the 8th to attend the African National Congress Gala Dinner event. It was an error here because I was there on official duties, not attending the gala dinner. I was not even at the gala dinner myself, so I think it was just an unfortunate sentence how it was crafted here by maybe my lawyer.
So you're wishing to amend
your
paragraph 250?
Yes, I never attend the gala dinner. I don't attend the gala dinner. I was there at January 8th, as the management of the police will be there to manage the big event that takes place.
Yes, Mr. Sim.
Sorry, I just want to understand, when in January 2025 were you in Cape Town? What dates?
It is somewhere from the 5th until the 12th. I think we've got paperwork around that that shows the...
Okay, so you were there from 5 to 12. You can provide us with that paperwork.
I have it. You'll get it over lunch.
Okay. 5 to 12 January 2025. And for what purpose were you there?
It is meetings with the minister, including also running over